Hi, this is another entry in my video blog that I'm doing. It's a new thing. I want to talk about technology stuff that's going on. I want to talk about things that matter to technology and to us as a company. One of the things that recently crossed my desk was about mashups, which I find in some cases amusing because it seems to be doing an end run around SOA and other types of integration capabilities. Basically, in an article by Andy Doman on September 5th, he described that mashups really are coming now in 3 different areas. So depending on whatever you thought a mashup was, it's probably changing and probably will continue to change. And we'll try to keep this updated on our website. But he basically says there's 3 distinct types of mashups: presentation mashups, data and logic mashups. So presentation mashups are basically what most of us think about what a mashup is, and that is the presentation like a iGoogle or a My Yahoo allows you to, through widgets, put together the thing that you want to see, and it's pulling that information from lots of different places. That makes it very easy to create sort of singular applications that do something. Now they're not really meant to do anything other than bring you information, but you sort of get the idea. The next one is a data mashup, where you're trying to actually bring together data from different repositories. It's funny, we did a data mashup back in 1995 for the government for JEDMIX, which is a joint electronic document management system for the armed forces. They had 30+ repositories around the country where they were storing images that were used by the military to repair their planes and vehicles. And if you didn't know which repository that you needed to look in to find the drawings that you needed, you might not be able to find them. So they really wanted to use some mechanism for being able to do a data mashup, which was, could you do a single query from one spot, query all the different repositories, and then bring back the information, and then you'd know what repository it was. It wouldn't really matter. We did that, actually. It was a $500,000 project that we did as a proof of concept for the government. So data mashups have been around for a while, in a sense, but the internet really made it easier to do that, and a lot of the HTML type middleware type stuff was able to make that happen. The last one is a logic mashup, and that's the hardest of all because it involves programming of some sort, typically. It's basically trying to create an application that does more than one thing. It's managing tasks. It's probably connecting 2 applications, and interestingly enough, our Ingenuus product really does something of all these kinds of mashups. It provides, in our user interface, it provides in the presentation mashup, basically on the screens, you could pull information from different places. And now with our new partner that we've just announced on April 27th, we just announced a partnership with Interweave, and that partnership allows us to connect to virtually so many different types of products that our presentation mashup makes a lot of sense now. The data mashup thing we've been doing for quite some time, but a lot of people haven't seen, unless they're doing some large project, they haven't seen as much in that. They just really want the middleware part to do that. It's the logic mashups that Ingenuus has been doing for some time. We manage multiple tasks in a workflow and process, and it basically creates its own application. So what it does is it becomes the middle place between things. So if you've got a CAD-CAM app, what it traditionally was designed to do, if you had a CAD-CAM application, we became the middleware where you could put your CAD-CAM drawings into our system, bulk load from the ERP, the information data, make the 2 come together, so you're doing a data mashup inside of our product. And then you're displaying that as a bill of material that the engineers can then mark up and say, we want to change this and add this and delete this. And then we're going to republish that back to ERP, so you kind of create this closed loop. Once you do the data loading, once you get the changes from CAD, it's very easy now to do changes that they just submit the changes from CAD because you already have the 2 mashed up in your system. You just say, we're now swapping this drawing for that drawing. We can change all the metadata and then publish that back to ERP. So we're doing logic mashups. So basically, Ingenuus is doing mashups. We didn't call them mashups. It's one of the reasons why we've been reluctant to adopt SOA and other types of technologies, because those technologies don't really support this. Mashups can use them, but doesn't really need them to get it done. And that's another thing that Andy Dornan points out in his article, which, by the way, I got right off of Network Computing. It was an article in Network Computing. And the beauty of that is if you can make the application simple, I told you that logic mashups typically require programming. Well, we've made it so that it doesn't require programming. A non-IT person, basically the process owner, can create mashups that actually have all three components pieces to them, and doing just product data is the beginning. There's so many other things that you could be doing with our product. And I really just wanted to talk about that and make sure that people understood that Ingenuus does these mashups already, and we're now following a greater path to do that. Now, our partnership with Interweave provides us greater SOA capability, so we can actually use SOA if that's an appropriate thing to do. We don't need to. It doesn't have to be there. You don't have to be a big SOA house to have our product and be able to create these kinds of mashups that you need.